stones and whether he has an operation?
No, no surgery.
No.
He can be recovered during 8-10 weeks without surgery.
With Khusanov and the communication, is he learning English words? How do you?
Well, we push him to take a lesson every day, as much as possible. Of course, it's really important to communicate. I don't think even when I would say, speak English properly, we'll communicate much. I don't know. I don't think so for the way he behaved. But as much as he understands the game and what he has to do, it's fine.
Hi, Pep. You spoke last week about your exceptional relationship with Kevin. Will you sort of help him to make that decision about next season when the time comes? Will you be sort of quite clear about what you think he should do?
Nothing is going to change about that. Of course, we know each other quite well, and I think we are quite honest with that. And I think in that situation, he has to decide. That is the most important thing. So he's completely honest with himself, and he's going to decide what does he feel, what he can do in the next period of his life. So it's, like I said, in summer, 34 years old at the end of the season, and he has to decide, like happened with David Silva, for example, and many other players.
Also, Pep, you've got Claudio Echeverri arriving in the squad.
Yeah, they announced me he's here soon. He's going to start training. And mainly will be for the end of the season, maybe the World Cup. And as soon as possible arrive, he can adapt quick for the future.
Hi, Pep. Can I just check on Ruben Dias? He didn't play on Sunday. Is he fit? Was he left out for fitness reasons? And with players like Kevin, but other players that you've said there's going to be a rebuild and some injured players might not be able to stay.
We need everyone for the end of the season. Absolutely everyone. I decided for this lineup, and maybe tomorrow will be for another one. We need everyone. So we are part of that, and of course in the next 1, 2, 3 years, so the players will be a little bit different. So everybody knows it.
Are you looking for some of those players to essentially fight for their futures in the end of this season and show you that they can still play for City at this level?
Of course. All of them can play. When the team play better, they can play. So 6 months ago, 7 months ago, with the champion team. So we had just one player with Sabino. The rest are the same. So, and when the team behave better, especially with everyone is there, they are players to play for City. There's no doubt about that.
Can I just check on the Diaz thing? So he didn't. It was tactical that he didn't play on Sunday. Was there something that you'd not sort of seen from him that you wanted to? Or?
No, absolutely not. He came from the injury. We wanted to leave it more pace for Khusanov. That was the reason why. I went a left foot in the left side. Nothing special. Ruben is massively important for us as a player, as a character, and many things. So have been a key point for that period. He's an important player, but sometimes I decide, and I decide for other players.
Can I ask about Oscar Bobb? It seems like he's like a forgotten man. Did he have an ankle injury when he was coming back with a setback? How long is he going to be out for?
I think yesterday we spoke with the doctors, and he feels really good, much better than when we come back. Have a problem in the meta. For disturbing, could not run properly. That's why at the end he come back, stop, and at the end with the doctors wisely decide, okay, stop until you feel this little discomfort that we have in your ankle can be better, he can training. So, and I think it will be in the last the last part. I think we'll be back soon. But I said that 1 month ago, and still he's not here. So hopefully this time can happen.
How much of a boost would that be for you to have him around the team in the
Oscar?
Yeah, in the last few months.
Well, Oscar has not been previous seasons has not been part of that, but everyone when we saw him in the preseason, everyone was so excited. Him the first and everyone. So it's a guy like creating smaller spaces and. In the terms of the intensity that help us to make, the people from behind, when I say people up front making the first action so aggressive, is like an addiction for the people who play behind. And Oscar is the best. but the best. He's so intelligent, smart, and the rhythm he played, and will play. Not, I think, left, but in the right winger, in the pocket, even a striker, in the smaller spaces, in the runners, in the finishing, is difficult to find. And unfortunately, we could not, after pre-season, everyone in the first game, I think, before Community Shield final against United. No, United play, like I make an assist to Bernardo equalize and go to the penalties. Before the game against Chelsea, the first game of the Premier League, was injured in the training session and could not now. So we could expect 3-4 months, a bit take longer. So sometimes, unfortunately, happen for him and for us.
Hi, Pep. A couple of months ago, you gave an interview and you were talking about the Premier League now is less about positional, and there's a lot of teams like Brighton, Bournemouth, Liverpool, loads of teams that are just more direct. Recently, there's been some talk about this in the media as well, in terms of, is this the next evolution in the Premier League? Is this the way that teams have to play in the Premier League? And the idea has been that maybe City could be left behind a little bit because of this change, because City like to play more passes. So between now and the end of the season and then going into next season, do you think your team has to adapt and become more like the other direct teams? Or is it a case of just being better at what has made your team so good for so long?
It depends of the especially depends of, as I said, the quality, the skills or the specific quality of the players that we have. It depends on how you're going to play. What I saw recently is the more teams like playing more man-to-man, more aggressive in your build-up. Few of them, they play like this. In terms of play more direct or no more direct, English football have been more direct. So have been always, don't play much in the middle and play long balls. But in the last years, a lot of teams play from behind. Tottenham was an example, and many other teams. Normally, when you make a positional game is against man-to-man is completely different. But we handle really well against teams man-to-man, so we are not concerned about that. It's more. Always we will have this regret this season. I said many times, what would happen with a muscular injury during the season, 1, 2, 3 weeks out or 4 weeks out. Okay, what will happen when mainly, we don't have central defenders 10 weeks, 8-10 weeks out. We don't have Rodri 6 months, 7 months out. We don't have Oscar 5-6 months out. What would happen? Nobody knows. I can imagine we'll be more competitive like we have been. But when we have the squad and we can play in the way, we can do it. So, until I'm the manager, we are going to adjust something. It depends on the quality of the players or the problems the opponent have. But I think we are going to try to play the way they defined that team for many years that had the success. The only difference is there was much more teams than in the past to make marking in our goal kick more aggressive. Before they were more cautious. Now the teams are so brave. That is a little bit different. I would say the only one. The rest, if you add your team, you can compete and you can play the way we have played in the past.
And just about the makeup of the team at the moment, it was about a month ago when you said the City are an old team in terms of counter-attacks and stuff, but at the weekend it was the joint youngest team that you've had here. The joint youngest team that you've had at City. It seems like a pretty quick kind of evolution, including the transfer market, players that have been brought in, and then going forward. Like, do you already sense with the new signings there is a little bit of a change of energy and maybe an ability to drop teams better than you were doing even 6 weeks ago?
What I said before to him, so we need all the players. And of course, when you talk about Phil or talk about Omar or talk about Nico or Maka, for just question of age, they have another rhythm without the ball that can have other players with the old players that we know that we have. But the other players give you something that the young players cannot give you. For Liverpool, I decided for this energy up front to create more or drop them more, or have the feeling that we can score more goals. And the way we'll play against or the way we played with how Liverpool must defend, I'm really pleased. I said after the press conference I had that feeling. So we did very good things. They punish us in the, of course, Alexander Arnold break the line for his enormous quality, but I would say that it was more a transitional team like like Liverpool, or maybe this season was completely different, and we were there all the time. I think what we have done against Liverpool, we have done during it almost a decade, 8 years, 9 years we have been here, to drop the team there and after to try to don't leave much and do it. So only we miss, what I said is in the final third, a little more creativity or better crosses or better, I don't know, it's not easy when they defend with the power that they have and the presence, physical presence that they have, and of course the speed that they have. So I'm not going to say that we deserve more than what happened, and we are better than Liverpool, but we have 18 or 20 points behind. We don't have defense, so they are better. So accept it. So the best way to understand, I said many times, to understand the realities to the future is to understand the reality. And the reality in the Premier League, even we are right now fourth, so we have not been good to compete for them. And of course, always I'm a big support of that. When you sign players, it's better to find players young and they can make his career. And when Kevin came to do what they have done, Kevin De Bruyne here. And I think I prefer that the club prefers as well than buy a player come from the last years. But we will see how they behave, the players that were many time here, the young ones, and game by game until the end of the season, try to finish what we want to do and prepare the next seasons.
Hi, Pep. Obviously, you've liked to have quite a small squad whilst you've been here, and with the injuries this season especially, would you, it's caused a problem, would you consider having a bigger squad next season to then maybe keep some of the experience that might otherwise leave to cope with the schedule?
Yeah. Especially the guys who remain here or the guys who come, how is his history in terms of injuries. So you have to think about it, which players can play every 3 days or in a month. That is the most important thing, because otherwise can happen the same happened this season. And you have to try to avoid it. Of course, you have to sign, I think the club has to sign players, but at the same time, you have to keep the players that we have as much as possible, because with the World Cup involved and after immediately the seasons will be tough or even tougher next season. So of course we need a little bit bigger squad. Yeah.
Hi Pep. Tottenham have beaten you 9 times since you've been here. I think that's more than any other team. What is it about them that causes you so many problems? I know obviously they're a very good team or have been.
A good question. I don't know.
Is it just one of those football quirks?
Yeah, maybe. We won the year what we should win, to win the Premier League. Always in the beginning I had the feeling, and few guys, but the feeling that always we played really good against them, but we were not able, to get results. This is the truth. So I think Liverpool away especially and Tottenham have been the rivals that are more difficult to get results. In general, in a cup competition, it's always tricky when a long competition like Premier League. It doesn't matter if you win or lose, because the important thing is the last target, and the last target is to achieve the Premier League, as we have done many times. But yeah, it's true. Always I said, because the quality is there. Always surprised why, for many years could not be, there close to the. I think the first year when I arrived with Mauricio Pochettino was close there, and arrived in the Carabao Cup final against us, but never was. They were not so close to do that. But his analysis, I cannot do it because I'm not there, and it's a question for a Tottenham. But the team always, since I arrived, the first season when it was with Mauricio, was an incredible team. Kyle was there, and Harry Kane, and Dele Alli in his prime, and many good players. Song, and all this type of players. It was a pleasure to watch. Always it was a contender, a close contender, but never. And the reason why is I don't know, because the managers have been there since Mauricio until lunch. Now, the group of managers have been there. Have been beyond exceptional. Have success in everywhere. And the reason why they do it, I don't know. Well, be there I could answer you, but now I don't know. Okay, thank you.